All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and give you an update about what we're doing with the Introducing Homeopathy Film Project. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so welcome, everybody. This is Elia, one of the two executive producers for the Introducing Homeopathy film. And I'm just going to give a quick update about what we're doing right now, where we're going, what our plans are for the near future, and hopefully how you can support us. So let's talk about so far what we've achieved so far. So far, Introducing Homeopathy has been seen by over 500,000 people. It's been translated into 12 languages. And one of the things that we're noticing is that enrollment in many of the schools here in North America has gone up significantly. There's two schools that I'm involved with, and both of them have either the largest enrollment that they've ever had or the largest enrollment they've had in more than a decade. So we're definitely seeing an uptick in interest in homeopathy, which is extremely exciting. And we're also continuing to network with Children's Health Defense, and we'll be attending their upcoming conference in Austin, Texas at the beginning of November. And we're hoping to really network there, and there'll be a lot of really important people there, including the Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, will be there. So this is going to be a great opportunity to let people know about homeopathy. As a matter of fact, they've got 20 vendor booths at the conference, and four of them are devoted to homeopathy. So I think five of them actually. Um, so like 25% of the booths there are devoted to homeopathy. Pretty amazing. Um, Also, Gabrielle Traub, who was in the film and who was on one of the round panels that we had on Children's Health Defense, was invited to go to Washington, D.C. and to give a presentation on homeopathy and autism to the MAHA group. And this is pretty exciting because you had, the Washington Post there and the New York Times and, a lot of really important individuals who are making policy about future healthcare for this country. And so this is a real golden opportunity for us to basically change the perception of homeopathy, not just to here in North America, but really around the globe. And so we feel this is a golden opportunity and a pivotal moment for us to take advantage of what's available in front of us. Um, so Introducing Homeopathy has been a huge success. We've gotten tremendous reviews, feedback. We're seeing a profound effect on the homeopathic community. And the original intention for Introducing Homeopathy was to make it available on Netflix. But we decided never to submit it to Netflix because our contacts there told us it wasn't really the right type of product for that platform. Netflix is looking for films and documentaries and and entire series that have a lot of polarity, a lot of dynamic tension, where you have advocates and skeptics of various particular issues. And so we've decided to create a 10-part series entitled Investigating Homeopathy, and we're currently working on the pilot that we're going to submit to Netflix and ask them to fund the entire series. About a month ago, Whole Health Now sent out an email to our list asking for script writers and filmmakers to volunteer and help us to create this pilot. And we received about 25 emails. We went ahead and interviewed everybody. And we now have a focus group of almost 20 individuals, professional scriptwriters, filmmakers, and other individuals who are working on a weekly basis. We're meeting once a week and collaborating and fine-tuning the script that we're going to use to prepare this pilot for Netflix. So this is very exciting, and the group is incredibly enthusiastic, and we're coming up with some really amazing ideas. So the focus of the pilot that we're going to be submitting to Netflix is really about the persecution of homeopathy, because throughout the history of homeopathy, it has been continuously persecuted. And we've decided to talk about the incredible injustice that occurred to Dr. George Guest. Dr. Guest was a medical doctor who was practicing in Asheville, North Carolina. He had a thriving homeopathic practice. His patients loved him. The community in Asheville loved him, and there were no complaints about his practice. I mean, his patients were doing well, they were getting good results, and everyone was very happy, except for the Medical Board of North Carolina. When they heard that he was practicing homeopathy, they decided to take away his medical license. And he fought this all the way up to the Supreme Court in North Carolina and lost. And he actually had to leave the state and he moved to Virginia and started to practice homeopathic medicine there. This is, and the reason for this is remarkable. The reason that they gave him for him not being able to practice medicine in the state of North Carolina was that he wasn't practicing according to the standard of medicine in his area. And if you think about that for a second, this opens up a whole can of worms about conventional medicine, because it means that a physician could discover some amazing cure for some disease. He could begin to give that cure to his patients. His patients could do remarkably well, but because it isn't the standard of practice in his area, he could literally lose his medical license. And so we're going to focus on this. It's the ultimate, underdog story of somebody who was doing good work, helping people, and simply because the medical system didn't like what he was doing, they took away his license. And this has really been the history of homeopathy from the very beginning. Hahnemann, for example, was heavily persecuted when he was living in Leipzig. The apothecaries were very unhappy that he didn't want to give these mixtures and that he wanted to prepare his own remedies, and they were continuously attacking him. And eventually he had to leave Leipzig, take his family with him, and move to Cothen. He was repeatedly criticized by the allopathic practitioners of his time for administering remedies in extremely small doses. There are many articles that he wrote in response to this, and articles that were written in various journals criticizing him. So he was constantly being persecuted. And Hahnemann was a supremely principled individual, and he was not willing to compromise on any level. And so this created tremendous hardship for him. He had to constantly be moving from one location to another to feed his family because he was unwilling to practice the standard of medicine that was happening in that particular period of time, because he felt that the medicine that he was employing, conventional medicine, was doing more harm to his patients than was helping them. And so he abandoned practicing medicine and began simply to translate text, which is where he discovered the art and science of homeopathy. So this persecution of homeopathy has existed from the very beginning of our history. Even the American Institute of Homeopathy, which was the first medical organization here in the United States, which was founded in 1844 and was designed to help create standards for homeopathic medicine, was the thing that was the impetus for the creation of the American Medical Association. And the American Medical Association, which was established in 1850, really attacked homeopathy. They decided to basically take away any medical doctor's license who was practicing homeopathy or who was associating with people who were involved in homeopathy. They even expelled doctors who consulted with homeopaths, and they even, believe it or not, expelled medical doctors who were married to homeopaths. So, just an incredible level of persecution that we have experienced throughout our history. And of course, you're probably very familiar with the Flexner Report. The Flexner Report wasn't the only factor that was responsible for the demise of homeopathy here in North America, but it certainly played a very important role. It was funded by the Carnegie Foundation, and also the Rockefeller family was involved as well. And they basically, because of their involvement in the petrochemical, biopharmaceutical, yeah, so basically it was one of the factors that really led to the demise of homeopathy. Um, so we're going to create this pilot, and from the pilot, we are going to look to create a 10-part series discussing many different facets of homeopathy. Let me show you the outline. This is not set in stone yet, but it gives you a sense of what we're trying to do. So episode 1 would be entitled, again, these aren't set in stone yet, Homeopathy, Why Is There So Much Controversy? Is this a valuable system of medicine or the greatest fraud ever perpetrated on humanity? Episode 2, Where does homeopathy come from? And this here, we would discuss the origins and history of homeopathy. We'd look into its scientific roots in empirical medicine, because there's always been two schools of medical thought, the rationalist school and the empirical school. And here we can interview scientists about their opinions about homeopathy. And it'll be very interesting because Actually, the truth of the matter is that a lot of scientists don't even really know what science is. And so we'll be able to get some very interesting and very amusing clips from this. Episode 3 will be a short history of homeopathy in America. And in this episode, we can explore the history of homeopathy's battles with the allopathic system. This is where we'll interview a lot of medical doctors who are skeptical about homeopathy. Episode 4 will be homeopathy around the world, India, Germany, Europe, etc. Here's the place where we can explore homeopathy's impact across the globe. Hopefully, we'll be able to travel to India. We'll be able to travel to Germany, to Hahnemann's hometown, to where he practiced during the last period of his life in that part of the world, and also perhaps his last 10 years in Paris. Episode 5 will be entitled something like It Seems to Be Popular with Famous People. And this is where we can explore all the famous people who have advocated for homeopathy from its origin to the present time. Episode 6, There Isn't Any Evidence This Works, is there? And this episode will look at the research aspect of homeopathy. Here we can interview researchers and ask their opinions about homeopathy and contrast that with the incredible abundance of research that we currently have. Episode 7, But There's Nothing in There. This will look at the controversy of potentized medicines. Again, we have tremendous evidence based on the work of Stephen Cartwright that these homeopathic medicines actually have electrodynamic properties, and there's absolutely something in there that has some type of therapeutic effect. Episode 8, Is This the Future of Medicine? And in this episode, we can explore what homeopathy has to offer and why there has been and continues to be so much resistance to it. Here we can really contrast conventional medicine and homeopathy, as well as show cases of patients being cured by our incredible system of therapeutics. Episode 9, Time to Take the Challenge. Here we would actually want to challenge the medical and scientific communities to enter into a formal dialogue or debate about homeopathy. And in this episode, we can film the lead up to the debate. And then finally, episode 10 would be entitled something like Let's Talk About It. And here we would like to create a formal debate with a number of resolutions at a university here in the United States between advocates and skeptics of homeopathy. And we're currently working at looking at various universities where we can actually do this. So this would be the general outline of the 10-part series that would be shown on Netflix after they accept our proposal. And we're very excited about this because, having a 1 hour or 2 hour documentary shown once on a platform like Netflix or Amazon might have some effect or some impact on the perception of homeopathy in this country and around the world. But if we can have a 10-part series that continues over an entire year or multiple years, and we can continue to engage the public about all the benefits that homeopathy has to offer, we can make homeopathy a household word, not just in the United States, not just in Canada, not just in Germany, but really all over the planet. So this is what we're working on right now. We also have some other projects we're working on for a later time, including a biopic, a Hollywood blockbuster film about the life of Hahnemann. But right now we're focusing on this particular project, and we do need support from the homeopathic community. Right now we have raised a little over $107,000. We need $200,000 to complete this film. And if we don't receive these funds fairly soon, we're going to have to stop. We won't have the financial means to continue this project. So we do absolutely need the homeopathic community's support so we can realize the pilot and the 10-part series. The National Center of Homeopathy has been very, very kind to, just for the month of October, to generously agree to let us use their 501(c)(3) status for any donations of $500 or more. So if you are in a position to make a $500 tax-deductible donation, you can do that through the National Center of Homeopathy, and you can support this project, and you can get a tax deduction on your taxes for the year. If you can't do that, it's not a problem. I'll show you that you can still make a smaller donation and receive a gift. But if you are able to make a tax-deductible donation, we only have this ability to do this for the month of October. After that, it goes up to the $5,000 for the tax-deductible donations. This is the website for the National Center for Homeopathy where you can go and actually make these donations. And let me go ahead and show you the how you would actually do this. So here is our website. And you can simply go over here where it says upcoming projects, and you can click on upcoming projects. And you'll see here it says for October only, tax-deductible donations. And then you can simply click right here where it says make a tax-deductible donation. And that will take you to the National Center for Homeopathy's website. And then if you scroll down here, you'll see right here, you can click on donate now, and you can make whatever type of donation, and super easy, super simple, and you will be able to really help and support us. So that's how you can make the donations. If you're not interested in making a donation of $500 or more, you can simply go to the introducinghomeopathy.com website, go to the donate pull-down menu, go to where it says make a donation, and that will pull up theoretically the donate page. Oh, here we go, the donate page. And you can click on this button if you do want to make a tax-deductible donation. But if you don't, what you can do is you can scroll down here and click on donate now, and then you can make any type of donation amount you want. And here below, you can see all of the various gifts that you get. For $30, you get one thing, for 50, 80, 100, and so on and so forth. So you can get all those various gifts. If you do make a tax-deductible donation, you're not able to receive a gift by US law. You can't receive any type of product in exchange for a tax-deductible donation. So that's how you do it. It's really super simple and easy, and it will really help and support our project. Let's do this together. Let's make these projects a reality, and let's really change the perception of homeopathy around the world. I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm happy to entertain any questions that anybody has about anything that I shared or any of the projects that we're working. Anthony, I see you unmuted
Yeah,
yourself.
no questions. It's very exciting. Very exciting, Kim.
Thank you, Anthony, for your contribution. We really appreciate it.
Yes, everybody go and donate. I just donated $1,000 about a week ago. So please.
And you had made a donation previously as well
Yes,
last
that's
time around
correct.
too. So I really appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you to everyone who's made donations so far. It's really appreciated. We're not going to show a clip tonight. Julian's working on the next clip and he didn't have it quite ready yet. So, but you can always go to the Introducing Homeopathy YouTube channel, and there are a number of really great clips up there. If you haven't seen any yet, you can check those out and subscribe. And when we get new clips up, we will be posting them to that channel.
Tim, this is Christine Theodorus,
Hey,
and
Christine, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm gonna put on my video for it. You know, I've said this before in past meetings, but I'd like to mention this again. Um, you know, really, if you are older, 70 and a half or older, you have an IRA, you can make a donation, tax-deductible donation directly from your IRA to this project, and I've done that myself. And one of the great advantages of doing that is that typically when you take a distribution from your IRA, unless it's a Roth IRA, you pay income tax on that distribution. But if you do a qualified charitable distribution, a QCD, from your IRA directly to this project, you don't get income taxed on it. So that's a huge benefit for people who are retired or, simply older. And I mean, I'm not fully retired, but it's a great way to make a huge impact without a negative income tax result. So I would like to encourage everybody who's older and for whom this might be possible to really consider doing that. That just would be, it's really a terrific option.
Thank you so much, Christine. And Christine, thank you for all your support in the past and all the donations that you've made. You've really helped us significantly, so I really appreciate it. By the way, when you do make a donation like this, you do get listed up on the website. You do get entered into the credits of the projects that we're working on. So you do get a little bit of notoriety from helping us as well. But that's not why you should do it. Obviously, the reason you should do this is because you want to support this important system of medicine and let people know that there's an opportunity to help with lots of issues that conventional medicine does not have answers for. So that's really why you do something like this, is because you want to do something to help this generation and future generations.
Yeah, Kim?
Yes, you can. If you're not, yeah, if you're not making, thank you. If you're not making a tax donation, you can go to the donate tab and choose a gift. Absolutely. James, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, can you say a little more about, you mentioned a future blockbuster movie about the life of Hanuman.
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to share about that. So this is I've got a couple of people working on a screenplay right now. I'll just give you the outline of it. So the film opens at Hanuman's bedside. He's dying. Melanie, his young wife, is sitting by his side. She's weeping because he's close to the end. And he tells her, "You have to continue practicing homeopathic medicine." And she says, "But I'm just a woman and I don't have a medical license." And he says, "It doesn't matter. You have to keep helping the suffering poor," because Melanie had a very inexpensive clinic where she would treat very poor people. And you have to keep helping suffering humanity. And then Hahnemann passes on, and you see Melanie weeping by his side. And the next scene, a young child is running through the streets of Paris in autumn. The leaves are falling. The child is banging on doors. Melanie's on trial. Melanie's on trial. And now you find yourself in a courtroom where Melanie is being interrogated for practicing medicine without a license. And this gives us an opportunity to explore the entire history of homeopathy, the integrity of Melanie Hahnemann, the integrity of Samuel Hahnemann, because as she's being interrogated, like, well, how did you marry this man who's, 37 years older than you? And did you marry him for his money? And she can, defend that marriage, which was really a marriage of love. And then, but what about Hahnemann? And he had no integrity. And she can go back and talk about how a principled an individual was he went throughout his entire life. And also they can, begin to attack her about homeopathy as well. And we can explore the entire system of homeopathic medicine. And actually, it's a remarkable story because it has all of the elements that you would want in a Hollywood blockbuster. It's got romance, political intrigue. It's got everything. I mean, just to give you an example, Hahnemann, when he was in Leipzig, was being attacked by the apothecaries. And so he had to leave Leipzig. And so he leaves Leipzig in the middle of the night and brings his whole family with him to Cothen. And when he arrives in Cothen, the townsfolk don't trust him. He's practicing this system of medicine they've never heard about, this unorthodox approach to healing. And so they treat him very badly. And there's even a scene where he's in his home, and the townsfolk throw rocks through the window and his children are cowering by his side. But one by one, he converts them. He cures this man of malaria and this child of a broken bone. And one by one, the townsfolk are converted to realize the incredible power that homeopathy has to offer humanity. And so this is just a remarkable story. I'm sure the reason that nobody's ever made such a film before is because Big Pharma has a lot of money in the entertainment industry. Because if it wasn't for that, somebody would have made this movie before. It's one of the most powerful, compelling stories you could ever think of. I mean, it's really got everything that you want: political intrigue, romance, the conversion of people who don't believe one thing to the truth. It's really got everything in it. So we're really excited about that. And I I think I've got some individuals who are potentially going to help us to fund, because that's a much larger project. I mean, that's, we're looking at anywhere between 20 or 30 or maybe even $40 million to make such a film. And but I think we'll be able to be able to make it happen. We've got some contacts with Angel Studios and some other film studios. So that's going to be a little bit further down the road. We're focusing right now on this 10-part series for Netflix, but in maybe about 6 to 9 months, we're going to start working fully on this Hollywood biopic about Hahnemann's life.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome, Jim. All right. Well, thank you so much for your attention, for your participation, and any support that you can give us will be greatly appreciated. Yeah, Empty House is a good choice for sure. And wishing everybody a very good rest of the week. Blessings to you all. And if you didn't if you came in late, this is being recorded, so you can we'll be posting it up on our website. We'll be sending an email out. So if you didn't get a chance to see the beginning part, we'll send out the recording later on. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, and have a very good rest of the week.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you and the team.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
God
Take care,
you.
bless you.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Kim.
Bye-bye.